Welcome everybody to God of War Ragnarok Jeopardy. I am your host Shayne, and I want to give a quick shout out to Brian Perry over at Inside the Magic to actually get me thinking about this kind of a video. So after this 26 questions, we're going to figure out who exactly knows God of War Ragnarok. And before we see the categories today, let's go over some of the rules. So seen on the screen right here, we see keep your own scores, 5 categories on the board, each with 5 clues. There will be a 5-second pause after each of these clues are read and given the answer. At the end of the 25 clues, there will be a final Jeopardy round. All 200-point questions will be given first, and then the 400, 600, 800, and 1000. And if you do want to cheat, pause the video and look up the answers, well, go ahead because I'm not going to know the difference anyway. So without further ado, let's check out our 5 categories. So number 1, we have weapons. So I am going to give you a picture of a weapon from God of War Ragnarok. You have to name me the character based on that weapon. Next one is called a fractured family. This has everything to do with the Aesir. Next is realms. I am going to show you a picture of a realm and you have to tell me which realm that this picture came from. Next is called Not Quite a God. This has everything to do with bosses that are not quite gods. Next category is our favorite boy. I know he's not called boy anymore in God of War Ragnarok, but he'll always be the boy in my heart. This has everything to do with Atreus in the game. So let's get going and let's check out the first question of this cupcake round. First, the 200 in weapons. Name me the character who has this weapon on the screen. That is right, and many of you should get this one. This is Kratos' Leviathan axe. Next 200 of the fractured family. Which Aesir god, through many lies and deceits, tried to stop their inevitable doom come Ragnarok? And that's the master manipulator himself. That is Odin. Next we have the realm category. This is 200. Name me this realm seen on the screen. That is right, this is Midgard. Gonna look a little different between God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. It's a little frosty. Yeah. Next we have Not Quite a God. Remember, this is about all the bosses who are not gods. With this question right here. Who replaced Sigrun as the Valkyrie Queen between the events of God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok? And the correct answer is Nah. Yes, Nah took over for Sigrun between the events of 2018 and Ragnarok. Next, and the last question in the 200 category with our favorite boy, where did Atreus go to find Angrboda? And I bet many of you will guess this. This is Ironwood. Next are our 400s. We're going back to weapons. So name me the character that has this weapon in God of War Ragnarok. And your guesses would be correct if you did put Freya. Next in the category of fractured family, which of the Aesir did Laufey, aka Faye, consider the worst of the Aesir due to the leading of a mass genocide against the giants? And the correct answer in this is Thor. Yes, Laufey thought Thor was probably the worst among the Aesir because, you know, kind of killed almost all of them. Yeah. That's not funny. Next category is realms in the 400 question. Name me this realm. And you are correct if you guess Svartalfheim. Yes, the land of the dwarves. Next, the 400 in Not Quite a God. What reptilian bosses appear as boss battles that are native to Svartalfheim and Vanaheim? And the correct answer is the Drekkies. And leading up to the last question in the 400, when Atreus sets out to find Freya to find out about himself and Ragnarok, Freya finds this around his neck after she holds him in place with magic. And you would be correct if you said the arrowhead that killed Balder, her son. Yes, Atreus was running around with the arrowhead around his neck that made Balder vulnerable and eventually led to his death. We're going up to the 600, starting in weapons. Name me the character who holds this weapon in God of War Ragnarok. And this is the daughter of Thor herself. This is Thrud's blade. And once again in a fractured family, this is the 600 question. What Aesir god can only be found in God of War Ragnarok postgame in Niflheim? So the correct answer is Tyr, and the real Tyr. Next up is realms. Name me this realm seen on the screen. And the correct answer is Vanaheim. Vanaheim, the land of the Vanir gods. Next up, in Not Quite a God, which boss in Alfheim is also known as the Queen of the Light Elves? And this Queen of the Light Elves is known as Alva. And Alva, in my opinion, was the most underwhelming boss fight in the entire game. I beat it first try, not a problem. I don't even think I got hit. Still really cool though. And last in the 600s, we have what was the first animal Atreus shifts into in God of War Ragnarok? And that is a bear. I am also accepting Bjorn because that is the name that the bear is taken in the boss fight that we have with him and Kratos. And going back to weapons in the 800 category, name the character who has this weapon, God of War Ragnarok. So the correct answer for this question is Fisk. I will also accept the captain of the Einherjar. Next up in a fractured family, which Aesir god is known as Odin's diplomat? And the correct answer here is the wife of Thor and mother of Thrud, Sif. Next in the 800 question is the realms. Name me the realm seen right on the screen, right here. So this realm is Alfheim. Alfheim, the realm of the elves. Next up in Not Quite a God, what boss can you fight only after you destroy all of the Odin ravens? And you would be 100% correct if you put the Raven Keeper. Yes, the Raven Keeper that can only be accessed after you destroy every single one of Odin's ravens found across the game. And last up for the 800 questions, how did Atreus and Angerboda create Jormungandr? So the correct answer is he put a soul into a snake. I will also accept the soulless snake in Gryla's home, snake found in Gryla's home, something like that. Close enough. Okay, cue the music because this is where things get difficult. We got the 1,000 point questions. So weapons. Name the character that wields this weapon in God of War Ragnarok. That would be the Stalker. I will also accept the Huntress because they both have this weapon. Next up, last question in a fractured family. Which Aesir god is the only god in God of War Ragnarok to be killed directly by Kratos? Not by surrounding characters, not by something else, by Kratos' own hands. And you are absolutely correct if you picked Heimdall. Yes, Heimdall is the only character that Kratos kills with his own hands. And honestly, it's probably my favorite boss fight in the entire game. I know I'm weird, but I love that fight. Last up in the realms category. Name me this realm. And this is kind of a trick question. This is the Great Void. Yes, Gununagap, the Great Void between the realms, the beginning of the Norse world. And the last question of Not Quite a God. What optional boss do you have to defeat in the side quest favor Quaking Hollow located in Vanaheim? That will be the terrifying Cragjaw, seen right here on the screen. And the last question in our favorite boy category. During the majority of God of War Ragnarok, Atreus thinks that he is, quote unquote, the champion. Where did Atreus get this idea? That would be inside a Jotun shrine, or a giant shrine, or you could also say Groa's real prophecy. All of it kind of works for me because that's all kind of true. That wipes our board completely clean, and we only have one question left, and that is the bonus final Jeopardy question. So add up all your points and wager exactly what you would like compared to this category right here. So the final Jeopardy question, we have relics. So right here, I will give you a few seconds to wager any amount of points you currently have for the final Jeopardy clue. Okay, time's up. Let's see the final question of this game. The Everlasting Dragon is a side boss found on a dragon beach in Svartalfheim, which you will need the Dropnir Spear and what magical relic to unlock this boss fight. 10 seconds on the clock. Write down me the answers. And the answer to Final Jeopardy is the Mystical Heirloom Relic. Tell me, everybody, how did you do in this game today? Tell me all in the comments down below. Tell me everything that you guys think, what you guys want to see next time. If you really did enjoy yourself, hit that like button. Think about subscribing because I may very well do this again in the future. If everyone likes it, at least. I enjoyed it. Did you? Everyone be safe, good night, and happy gaming. Good night, everybody.